Hello, this is Dave LaCroix, and this is the first in a series of videos that I'm going to do on the subject of what is Scientology. A few years ago, I made the statement in another video, that I would create one to answer the question definitively on what Scientology is. But then I got to thinking about it. A long, droning on and on video is not the most popular or the best idea. So I came up with this idea to do a bunch of short, to the point, roughly in the 5-minute area type videos, and dissect this very controversial, seemingly controversial, complex subject. A lot of people have a lot of different ideas about it. Anybody who has done a 5-minute search on Google is now an expert on it. But anyway, I've been involved in the subject for 47 years, and I've been trained as an auditor, a person skilled in using the technologies of the subject. Worked for the church. I've known hundreds, if not thousands, of people over the course of those years, and I've got a bit of a this is going to be a different take than what you've been exposed to, listening to all the ex-Sea Org members and all the people who have all their complaints about Scientology and this and that. Now, let me explain first of all what's going on here and some of the ground rules. I am hooked up to an e-meter. We'll do some special videos about that and explain it more accurately than has been done so far. The people creating movies and videos and so forth and their blogs, most of them aren't trained in Scientology or never learned how to use the e-meter, or they have a wrong idea. So there's a lot of wrong information about it. But basically, I'm hooked up to the e-meter. I'm going to show you. I'm holding in one hand two of the separate electrodes. There's a couple of different techniques in auditing or using an e-meter. When a person normally would be holding one of those electrodes in each hand, one in each hand. And in some cases, more advanced auditing is called solo auditing, where someone audits themselves. So they hold the electrodes in one hand. But in either case, the e-meter is simply just, it's a little 9-volt battery type battery in there that's passing a current through the body, completes the circuit with the two electrodes, and then the needle reacts on the dial there. That's what you're seeing. Now, I'm not auditing myself. I'm not doing any processes. It's just something you can watch and maybe sort of begin to demystify the meter a little bit. And since I'm not an internet professional, television personality, I thought that'd be more interesting to watch that than to me. Anyway, please do comment. You'll see a lot of links to what we're going to talk about in this series. Place your comments down below. If you're respectful, we'll be respectful. If you want to get into all kinds of nastiness about Scientology and cults and all this, then we'll just block you. We don't need that kind of conversation. If you want to talk to somebody that's actually familiar with the subject and been doing it and using it, then so be it. We'll have a nice rapport, so to speak. Now, about me, like I said, I've been involved with it for 47 years. I created a website called Scientolipedia, which is probably the biggest battery of materials on the subject. We've actually distributed or passed out in the terabytes of L. Ron Hubbard lectures and materials and books and so forth. We have a free streaming service there. We have biographies of the people, L. Ron Hubbard and all the other people in Scientology. We have practitioners. We have maps. It just goes on and on. We also have Twitter. We have Facebook page. We have a Facebook group. All of these will be linked down below. And but that's what I've done. I'm an active auditor these days, and so I have a perspective on what's going on with the church that is somewhat different. And actually, I am a Scientologist, not an ex-Scientologist, not an ex-Sea Org member, not a television personality who thinks they know about it. And anyway, but the first point I wanted to make, and this is going to be the first lesson in what is Scientology, and it's really kind of what it's not. What it's not is not the church. The church is something else. The church is a corporate entity that's mainly just a real estate corporation that holds some, claims they hold some copyrights and claims they hold um, trademarks on the marks and copyrights of Scientology. But it's just a legal entity, primarily a real estate scam entity. It has nothing to do with the subject of Scientology. And this is the first thing that you need to learn, is the difference between the subject and the church. And when people say on these blogs and TV shows, and they say Scientology this, Scientology that, they're talking about the church. 99%, they're talking about the church. They fail to differentiate between the subject itself and the church, which is my main bone of contention with them. So beware when they don't make the difference. They don't preface it, say, well, the Church of Scientology. They say Scientology. They're talking about the church and all of its shenanigans and so forth. We'll go into more about that, but just be on guard. Notice if somebody fails to differentiate between the church and the subject, they've got an agenda. They're trying to throw the whole thing out the window, the baby out with the bathwater, so to speak. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. We're going to keep these short and sweet, and I look forward to producing more and answering your questions in the comments. And please follow our links, and we'll see you soon. Bye.